Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that recently blew up on Hacker News. And trust me, it's more fascinating than its seemingly odd title suggests. We're talking about Mario meets Pareto. Now, you might be thinking, what on earth do Super Mario, the most iconic plumber in gaming history, and Vilfredo Pareto, the Italian economist, have in common? Well, quite a lot, actually, when you look at it through the lens of game design, player engagement, and even software development efficiency. This isn't just about fun and games. It's about understanding fundamental principles that drive success in digital products, even beloved ones like Mario. The original Hacker News discussion kicked off with a brilliant, albeit provocative, post proposing that the legendary Super Mario franchise, perhaps unknowingly, embodies the Pareto Principle, also known as the 80-20th rule. For those unfamiliar, the Pareto Principle states that, for many outcomes, roughly 80% of consequences come from 20% of causes. Think about it, 80% of a company's sales come from 20% of its customers. Or 80% of software bugs are found in 20% of the code modules. It's a powerful heuristic for identifying where to focus your efforts for maximum impact. Now, how does this apply to Mario? Let's break down some of the compelling arguments that lit up the comment section on Hacker News. First, consider asterisk level design and core mechanics. In almost every Mario game, you'll find a vast array of levels, enemies, and environmental quirks. Yet, players often spend 80% of their time interacting with just 20% of the core mechanics. Think jumping, stomping, collecting coins, and perhaps a couple of key power-ups. The sophisticated level design might introduce intricate puzzles, hidden passages, or unique enemy types. But the vast majority of player engagement comes from mastering those fundamental actions. A significant portion of the game's development effort likely goes into those core mechanics and the levels that highlight them most effectively. The Hacker News thread pointed out how Nintendo masterfully introduces a new mechanic, teaches it, then expands on it, rather than overwhelming players with too many distinct interactions. This focus ensures players quickly grasp the fundamentals, leading to broader accessibility and enjoyment. Next, let's talk about asterisk power-ups and player strategies. Mario games are famous for their iconic power-ups. The Super Mushroom, Fire Flower, Starman. While many games feature a wide array of situational power-ups, the Hacker News discussion highlighted that 80% of player success and preferred strategies often revolve around just 20% of these available items. Most players grab a Super Mushroom for growth, a Fire Flower for offense, and a Star for invincibility. Less common items, like the Cape Feather in Super Mario World or the Frog Suit in Super Mario Bros. 3, while fun and unique, might be used less frequently by the average player, or only for specific challenges. This isn't a criticism, it's an observation about player behavior and design efficiency. Nintendo puts immense effort into making all power-ups enjoyable, but the core set contributes disproportionately to overall game progression and player satisfaction. Then there's the asterisk enemy roster. Mario's Rogues Gallery is legendary. Goombas, Koopa Troopas, Piranha Plants, Hammer Bros, and a myriad of unique bosses. But if you think about it, 80% of the immediate threats and gameplay interactions often come from just 20% of these enemy types. Goombas and Koopas are ubiquitous, foundational threats that players learn to deal with almost instinctively, while formidable foes like Lakitus or Boos add variety and specific challenges. The bread and butter enemies form the bulk of the minute-to-minute gameplay. This efficient enemy design means less time teaching players how to deal with every single new creature and more time spent on pure platforming enjoyment. The hacker news community, primarily composed of software engineers, product managers, and data scientists, took this concept and ran with it. They discussed how this applies not just to game design but to software development in general. Think about a complex application. 80% of user activity often occurs within 20% of its features. This insight is crucial for prioritizing development, identifying core value propositions, and even allocating resources for testing and maintenance. If 80% of your users only interact with a small subset of features, that's where your development team should probably focus 80% of its efforts for maximum impact and user satisfaction. The thread also touched upon the developer's perspective. If 80% of a game's critical path relies on 20% of its codebase or specific assets, that 20% needs to be rock solid, bug-free, and highly optimized. This principle helps teams focus their testing, debugging, and optimization efforts where they will yield the greatest return. Imagine a studio pouring equal resources into every single niche mechanic when the majority of player experience hinges on flawless core controls and responsive collision detection. The Pareto Principle provides a framework for smart resource allocation, which is something game development studios, operating on tight deadlines and budgets, must constantly master. One particularly insightful comment mentioned monetization and engagement models. While Mario is not a free-to-play game with complex monetization, the underlying principle holds for apps that do monetize. Identifying the 20% of features or user behaviors that drive 80% of revenue or retention is paramount. Understanding what players truly value and engage with the most allows developers to refine their experiences, ensuring longevity and continued success. In Mario's case, it's about the consistent joy derived from those fundamental actions and iconic elements. So, what's the takeaway from Mario meets Pareto and this incredible hacker news discussion? It's a powerful reminder that efficiency